Simone Biles is getting absolutely slated from all angles. Social media, the media, and in person because of pulling out Tokyo Olympics around 2-3 days ago. Well, it's probably going to be 3-4 days by the time this is published.
Just that 5.5 hour wait or something, I was just like shaking, could barely nap. I've just never felt like this going into a competition before, and I tried to go out here and have fun and warm up in the back, went a little bit better, but then once I came out here I was like, no, mental is not there, so I just need to let the girls do it and focus on myself.
So in this video, I'm going to talk about why she did it, why the media's response is really not helping, and give the whole story on how anyone who's suffering from mental health can really benefit from this experience. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nassir and I'm a doctor working in London. I make videos about health, celebrity health, all things related. So subscribe so I can prescribe you some good information every single week. So, Simone Biles, multi-medalist, greatest of all time. She's been called many things by many people, and most recently has been seen as a failure by some because of her not making it to the finals and basically pulling out without an injury is what people are saying. If you look into the story, this is just absolutely appalling that people have been slating her for this. The reason why is because this lady has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it has not been publicized anywhere. She takes Ritalin, or Methylphenidate, which is the official medical name, and it's a type of drug which helps people to focus who have this condition. It's an amphetamine, and in Tokyo or Japan it's completely banned, so she's not been able to have it prior to performing. When you look at things like this, where you see ABC News bringing on an expert, Janet Taylor, who's a psychiatrist, giving an information, it does make you wonder.
Well, I applauded her courage because we know that mental health should be a priority. You don't have to wait until you have mental illness, until you may be incapacitated, that when you recognize that things are too much. She said she was stressed. She was worried about her well-being. And we know that a stressed, distracted brain is not one that should be flipping around on a 4-inch bar.
See, I look at that interview and it goes something like this. Now, well, let's go to our expert, Janet Taylor. Oh, pleasure to have you here, Janet. Oh, great to be here, great to be here. It's really a shame that she's sad, and she's really sad, and that's why she's leaving, because, you know, she's quite sad, and when you have, like, mental health problems, that's, like, really sad, and so she's leaving. It's good to leave when you're sad, because nobody ever can perform when you're stressed. Okay, so first of all, you're in the Olympic Games, the whole world is watching you. Even athletes with no mental health condition will be stressed, so you can't say that you shouldn't be swinging around on a 4-inch bar if you're stressed, when that's really not your area of expertise. You don't swing around on a 4-inch bar, and so I don't think you have the ability to comment on that. Even though people call you an expert, which you might be in that field, you clearly don't know about this specific topic or the backstory to it. Since this athlete was abused by her Team USA doctor, who's called Larry Nassir, who has now been convicted for this, and he abused multiple other girls. And this lady has said in previous interview about her deep kind of emotional pain as a result of that. Take a look at this clip from the previous interview with a different, more educated channel.
So the main part that he took away from me that I'll never get back is trust. And so I think it's very hard for me to trust some other people, and I find myself even walking down the street or being in places, I'm just very scared, right? Because nobody wants their daughter, or just even as an individual, to have that happen to them. So it feels like he took a part of me that I can't get back, so I'm still working on that part. So it's very hard.
See how she talks about she has lost trust for other people. She now feels scared when she goes down different alleys. You know, she clearly has ongoing psychological impact as a result of her trauma that she experienced. And you think that when you take Janet Taylor, who's a professional and an expert in the field, that she would be bringing that background reading and research to the table when she talks about this lady's mental health. It's very relevant. That's my first pet peeve with the way that the whole media are portraying this. The second pet peeve is that this lady has been stopped taking her Ritalin, which is obviously a vital medication for her to be able to focus. It increases the neurotransmitters in your brain, which allow you to feel focused, which allow you to feel happy, dopamine, noradrenaline. And when you withdraw that medication, you lose the effects of those neurotransmitters and you can start to feel depressed. Now, symptoms of depression can differ, but low energy, forgetfulness, low mood, and an inability to take enjoyment from your current activities, which are all things that she mentioned in the speech of why she actually stopped. Oh, well, at least most of them are things that she mentioned, not all of them. So think about this for a second. You've got someone who's relying entirely on memory when performing these really quite dangerous, complex activities, you know, pole vault and mat exercises all together, and couple that with a lack of energy and a lack of memory, you really get a dangerous mix. I guess you can think about it like this. If someone's usually not taking medication, let's say, you know, me or you are asked to do something fairly simple like hit a ball with a bat. Most of us can do that, fair enough. But that's mainly because of our procedural memory, you know, the way that our eyes help us to coordinate the arms and where our body's position is in space and where the ball is coming, you know, predicting the trajectory and where that's going to hit the bat as well. And it's a simple move if you're not impeded because of all of the automatic processes that come through from your procedural memory because you've done it before. If you've never done it before, it's actually quite difficult. So then if you take a person like that and you impair their consciousness by giving them a new drug, even if it's not an illicit drug, even if it's just pain medication, like an opiate, you know, like morphine or, you know, codeine, then you start to make them drowsy. They start relying more on voluntary control of movement rather than procedural or automatic control of movement. And suddenly all of that practice that they've had doesn't become relevant or so relevant anymore. So the reason why she quit wasn't because she was being selfish or that she, you know, was just looking out for herself or she was being a coward. Actually, the reason why she quit was because she could not perform at the level that was expected of her without her medication. So the question then lies on why she wasn't allowed to take her medication. Well, that's because Japan has a really gritty history with the amphetamine type drugs, and Ritalin is actually a banned medication which is not allowed for use even with ADHD patients in Japan. So you take someone with a medical condition, you take away their drugs that they need to control it, and then you expect them to perform at an Olympic standard based on their practice, when actually their practice now means very little because they're working purely on voluntary movements rather than the involuntary, complex, automatic mechanisms that your body can use. So, of course she's gonna quit. I mean, I find it crazy that this has become such a big thing and the media are slating her for it because, yes, she's a world champion, but she's only human, just like we're only human. And if we were given something that altered our consciousness, we wouldn't be able to perform at a great level anymore either. Just look at the drunks walking down the street. They can't even walk when they're given alcohol. Obviously, it's not exactly the same thing, but you get my drift. I'd say we need to give her a break. And I also think that this problem and the way the media have reacted and people have reacted is really a representation of a deeper underlying issue, which is misunderstanding of society of mental health disease, which is absolutely crazy considering that 1 in 3 people will get it in a lifetime, and that one person kills themselves in the UK who's a student every 4 days. I mean, this thing is rife, it is a crisis, it's everywhere, and yet we still don't understand it, we still don't pay it the respect that it deserves. And quite frankly, when someone has a chemical imbalance within their neurons, you need to have medication for that. You can't just withdraw the medication and expect that everything is going to be okay, like we did in this scenario. So I'd say let's give her a break. She's done enough for the country. The US gymnastic girls have managed to go on and win a silver medal without Simone Biles, who is their star performer. And so clearly the decision she made was the right one for, herself, for the team and the country. And some people are saying she shouldn't be seen as a hero. Well, actually what she did was self-sacrifice more than anything. So I would say it's not unfair to see her as a hero. I think she did excellent things for mental health. She's a good advocate. I just hope that she can restart her medication as soon as possible and make a good recovery and continue performing. I mean, when someone says that they don't want to be carried off on a stretcher, that just shows you what level of crisis that she went to. So I hope that has been entertaining. I hope it sheds light on quite a difficult situation. What's your opinion on it? Should she have withdrawn? Should she have battled through? And do you think that mental health is quite well understood or quite poorly understood? Give me your experiences and comment below, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.